David K. Johnston and Chris Hayes are going to rip apart Chris Christie here for saying that income inequality, not that big a deal.
David, here's my feeling about Christie's comments yesterday and about conservatives talking about inequality in general. I far prefer the honesty of Chris Christie yesterday, in which he basically says, stop whining, do you want mediocrity or greatness, to the kind of disingenuous, oh, we actually really do care about people at the bottom that you sometimes get when conservatives talk about inequality. If you're going to do it the Chris Christie way. Stick by your guns. Say that basically screw the people at the bottom, embrace Ayn Rand.
Well, here's my problem with Chris Christie. Nobody, Chris, who is a player in this area has been arguing for equal income.
Yes,
Nobody.
Exactly.
It's a false meme. And furthermore, he doesn't have the founding fathers on his side. My piece in Newsweek right now is about how the founding fathers, Jefferson, Washington, Madison, Adams, the others, all wrote that what they feared would doom our country was extreme inequality. And they wrote it again and again. They put it into a 1792 law. It's very clear that they felt that extreme inequality would doom this grand experiment in self-governance. So one thing I guess we can say about Chris Christie is he's trying to fill in the holes in the plot line of the fictional story he's been out selling by diverting our attention somewhere else, is he certainly wouldn't want us to go back and look at what the founders of this country said about inequality.
So on top of his arguments, the fact that, I mean, as he says, no one is calling for total equal pay, and Christie's acting like we are, and he says the founders are on our side. Those are all fine arguments. They're totally true. But I like to think about income inequality through the eyes of an alien. And I know that sounds weird, but stick with me here and let me explain what I'm talking about. So if there was some alien that was, a conscious, smart being that came here and was able to observe us, and they would see what's going on, and then they would have questions, obviously. So if they look at, for example, a person who makes $27,000 a year, works 2 full-time jobs, but, they're minimum wage jobs, and has to take care of 2 kids and has to pay the rent and doesn't have health insurance and all these things. And then he looks at, the CEO of whatever, you name the company, Tyco or JCPenney, or the head of an investment firm on Wall Street, or whatever. So, takes a look at the CEO of that company. That guy works less hours than the guy with the 2 jobs. That guy's wearing a nice suit and tie. He's got his hair slicked back. He's sitting in a chair writing for half the day, and the other half the day he's socializing, and then he goes out and has a nice drink and goes home to his wife in his mansion at night. If you tell that alien that, hey, yeah, the guy wearing the suit with the slick back hair and everything, yeah, that guy makes $3 million a year. Oh, and that guy right there, oh, he makes $27,000 a year. The alien would be like, wait, what? But that guy works so much harder. That he works more. It's more back-breaking, grueling work. He's got, they're living in a smaller place. He doesn't have health insurance. Why does this guy make that much more than that guy? $3 million? $3 million, and that guy only makes $27,000 and he's working more hours? Are you guys stupid? Did you not figure out how shit works? Or I don't understand. Why are you so dumb? Why do you not reward actual work and how hard people try? And I don't understand why. Explain that to me. And that's what I think about all the time, because there's this idea in people's minds that, or especially conservative Republicans, that America is a meritocracy. The harder you work, the further you go, and we are in favor of a meritocracy because that makes sense. But America is not a meritocracy. We all know a plethora of poor people that are the hardest working people in the world. We all know a lot of middle class people that are the hardest working people in the world. We all know different types of people from every single income bracket. So I know rich people who work really hard. I know rich people who slack the fuck off. I know poor people who work really hard. I know poor people who slack the fuck off. There's this wide variety in how hard people work and what they like to do and how much money they make. And it's not, my point to people is that the amount of money somebody makes, it's not written down in the laws of nature, and it's concrete. It's like physics. You can't question it. And that's what libertarians think. No redistribution, because redistribution doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but hold on. If you leave a capitalist system on its own and you have no redistribution of wealth, that means you have no police officers. That means you have no fire department. That means you have no roads, no infrastructure, no FDA to make sure you don't get cholera or E. coli when you eat and drink. So that would be a problem. But not only that, if capitalism is left totally alone, 0.01% of the society has everything, and everybody else just fights for the crumbs, and it's like a peasant society. Okay, that's the type of system that you want? In a purely capitalist society, I need you to really think about this. In a purely capitalist society, you have a teacher making 30 grand, a scientist, 42 grand, a backup bad player on the worst NBA team there is, 400 grand. Justin Bieber, $1 trillion.